Mm-mm. I didn't see that. Hey guys, welcome back to Primetime Studios. Like always, I'm your host, Primetime Phil, and of course, my co-host, GameTime Bryan. What's going on, Bryan? How are we doing today?
What's going on, everybody? Game time, Brian, otherwise known as the mailman here, ready for yet another preview week of a tough big game tomorrow. Phil, how you doing?
Man, I am watching some college football today, so I mean, I have to really kind of search for some of these games because they're kind of all over the place. But hey, football's in the air. Our Cowboys are irrelevant. This is definitely good compared to what we were going through in the first game of the season. After that first game, even with Dak, I would have, I still would have had my ifs.
Yeah,
I think Cooper Rush
yeah,
being in that first game
absolutely.
as well would have been some iffiness. And I think that's what we're going to get maybe a taste of this week. So, how do you feel? Because I know with me, I have been back and forth. I have been back and forth in the sense of, I think we can do it, and then I think, okay, maybe we don't have a chance. Okay, well, maybe, you know what? No, we do because we have these guys, and then we're like, well, they have these guys. Yeah, well, they're not playing. So I'm everywhere when it comes to this
Yeah,
game, man.
yeah.
How are you feeling
Uh,
about the
Listen,
game?
I'm going into this game, which is a good thing. I'm going into this game like the Cincinnati Bengals game. It's almost like I know they can do it. Um, I mean, I know they could do it, but they have to have a few things go right for them. And I'm just worried because the Rams are desperate. They're a desperate team playing at home. We may have the advantage with in fans. Everybody knows how we show out in LA. I'm just a little worried, and we'll get into why. Um, Listen, like the Cincinnati game, Dallas won. I said how they can win. I said it was going to be close. I don't think this is a situation where they get blown out. And the only reason why I say that is that we'll get into it is basically the O line of the Rams is in shambles. So that's a good thing for us, Phil. It's a sketch game for sure, though. It really is.
Yeah, yeah. So I just kind of again, I'm trying to make it. I'm gonna actually do a poll here. See, I'm gonna put it in there. This is my first
I
time ever
see
doing
Mark
that.
Hudson's in here. What's up,
Yeah,
Mark?
I was gonna acknowledge that. We got Mark, we got
Jeff
Jeffrey.
Carson, how are you? Yeah.
Let's see. I'm gonna go ahead. Boom.
And I know that
Yeah.
this is a football show, and I'm keeping an eye on the Red Raider game. That's in Oklahoma State. That's a good game, but this is October baseball. I don't know about you guys, but um, nothing better than October baseball, man. It's really cool.
Yeah,
I'm
you
not a
got.
big baseball guy regular season, but I played ball for years, so a decent level. So this is it's cool.
Yeah, I'm catching some stuff like you were just hearing. I was hearing about Tampa as well. So didn't know they were
Yeah,
at the.
we're equal opportunity sports here. I mean, this is playoff baseball special. But we're here to talk football and the Cowboys. So let's
Yeah,
go,
man.
baby. Game time.
Yeah.
Game time.
So when I look at the matchup, let's go on the offense of the Rams and let's talk about our defense, because the defense is what's been leading this team. As much as we talk about Cooper Rush, as much as I put the little thumbnails and I put Cooper Rush on there, I put the wide receivers that have been good, that's the defense that have been leading this team, and we said it from the beginning of the season. So is it a surprise? No. Is it a surprise that Micah Parsons was dominating all over the place? No. Is it surprising to see the depth? I think maybe a little bit, but as well, at the same time, we're not, because where did we find the problems of getting rid of the people on this team and possibly losing some stars? We knew it was going to be on the defense. Ridgeway going to Washington. Eventually all the shifting and stuff, our defensive guys were going to come through. So I love this matchup on the defensive side, because obviously you have a Rams team that has been struggling, and this is where you're talking about the desperateness of getting back on track. Stafford with his tendonitis or whatever he has going on. Can they get back on a rhythm? Of course, guys like Kupp are going to do his thing. It's like you were saying with Barkley a couple of weeks ago. He's going to do his thing. You cannot stop it. You can try to slow it down.
Listen, he got 19 targets last week and caught 14 of them. He's going to catch 10 balls, at least. He's going to catch 10 balls. They're not going to, Trayvon doesn't play the slot, so he lines up in the slot a lot of the time. So a guy like Deron Bland, which now I'm hearing that Lewis traveled with the team and has a shot to play. Listen, that would be great, but Deron Bland.
He's a rookie.
I like his ball skills. He's a gamer. He's going to be lined up with CD some, but CD needs to be on the outside. He's not going to travel on the inside. That would be a problem. And Kupp, it doesn't matter who's on him. He catches the ball. So I think it would be kind of stupid to have our best guy on him, because he's not going to limit him. Those 50-50 balls, he comes down with them. The dude is just he's a top 2-3 guy. Consistent, route running, hands, the whole package. My main keys of the game is him. Give him 10. Don't give him 15, 18, and third down is big. But watch out for their tight end, Tyler Higbee. He's nasty, and he's more like a receiver than he is a tight end. And down the field, that could cause some issues with us. Those are the two guys, because they're the two guys that we need to be concerned with. Van Jefferson is out. He's their big play guy,
and Allen Robinson hasn't really shown up yet. And you don't want this to be the game that all of a sudden Allen Robinson starts to do some stuff there. And that's what you're going to kind of
question them.
Yeah. So there's some stuff there that I think. When you look at the Rams and what they do running the ball, it again falls into something where maybe this defense isn't as strong about. But I haven't been disappointed with the running game. Every team, you're going to eventually be able to pop one off, and so this team has done better than what they did last year. That's what I grade them off. Are you better than what you were last year? And I know some of the strengths of this team, even though I'm not very confident in every single guy in that secondary. But, that's the strength of this defense. And why is it the strength of this defense? It's because of the defensive line and the pressure that they put on. And, those corners can, hang with these guys. It's just the fact that, if you don't have that defensive line, you're not going to, you're going to get torn apart in the NFL. So when I look at the matchup, I think it falls into where, hey, just like the Bengals game you're saying, if things fall into place, then yes, the Cowboys can win this game. I think when you look at the offense for the Rams, the offensive line, there's some injuries there. That could definitely come into play. And so they've had their iffiness when it comes to the offensive line. So I think this defense can definitely put pressure. And if you put pressure on Stafford, in general, if you never put pressure on Stafford, he'll give you a pick or two. So if you put the pressure on him, you're going to get a couple of them. So, I'm excited to see that part of it. So, so that part right there, I think it plays perfectly. It's the offensive side of the ball that kind of worries me more, because
I'm with you.
Because you're going to have a star here, the Aaron Donald. Ramsey, we give him his crap, but it's still, he's a top corner in the sense of what they consider top corners. Obviously in that same, category, Diggs should be top number one, but obviously they take him and exclude him from the category. So, But Ramsey, I mean,
Right.
Ramsey can still, cover. He still has occasionally where he'll make some plays, and we all know Sean McVay for the past couple of years has definitely had Dallas's number. So there's a lot of things that come in play
Sean
here.
McVay, you named it. He's the guy that's being called on the carpet this week. He's too good. He is too good. He will dial up stuff. We need to get off the field on third down. But what we have going for us is that Matt Stafford's elbow. He's got elbow tendonitis, and it's not in his throwing shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
It's not good. Or is it? Yeah,
Yeah, tendonitis. I think it was the elbow.
Yeah. I'm hearing it's tendonitis here and up in, his whole right arm has an issue. I'm not exactly sure of the injury, but I'm hearing tendonitis in shoulder, elbow, upper, like the old hockey thing. It's an upper body injury. He's not great. Now he's working on his third or fourth center. There's like 3 guys on the O line who aren't starters. So the way and the key to victory is attacking him, shorten his clock to around 2 seconds, in 2.2, 2.3, nothing more than that. Let him get rid of the ball. Then we're fine. Then it's just a party at the ball because he's going to get it out quick and short. Or I had sent a tweet out like a few days ago. It's like a party at the ball. Everybody is just attacking the guy with the ball. So that's fine. They can catch the ball. 3 yards, boom, that's fine. We just got to watch out for down the seams and in the middle of the field.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's hurting. He's not great. We're playing a wounded Ran team, which is good, but it's bad. And I feel like our defense will come to play, and they will limit them. But is it am I the only one who thinks that maybe this is the game that Cooper Kupp gives the ball away a couple of times? Aaron Donald is. Yeah, that's what I mean. Cooper Rush. You know who I meant. Yeah. So it's like
I hope it's the game that
waiting
Cooper
for the
Kupp
other
gives
shoe
it.
to drop. It's like Cinderella,
Yeah.
It's like Cinderella, and it's 11:45, and it's almost going to be midnight. Is she going to be good? Or is her slippers going to turn into Bobos, and we're going to be back with a backup quarterback who played shaky his first game? Mm-hmm. Granted, he won, but it wasn't pretty. I would say we need a high 20s in order to win this game. We need 27 points to win this game.
I would agree.
I think the first team to 27 wins the game.
Yeah, I would agree with you. It does worry me that all of a sudden this would be the game that. I think that's what that gets me. It's not the Cooper Kupp, because obviously Cooper Kupp is going to do his thing. Tendonitis. Matthew's going to give you a pick or whatever, a turnover. There's going to be can you cause other turnovers? That's going to be the thing. I'm more worried about those other guys like Higbee and Allen Robinson. If you allow one of them to get onto the scoreboard that means you allowed them to do it, and then you allowed Cooper Kupp to do his thing, because you can't as much as you want to slow it down and everything, you can't stop it 100% of the way. Even teams that have had the number like San Francisco, he was still catching it there. So I mean, there ain't much we can really say when it comes to them. When it comes to those two, it's like a Marvin Harrison, Peyton Manning type
basics.
Thing.
Yeah, I think we stick to the basics, and we have to run the ball, and we have to stop the run. I know you do that every game, but we've been leaking a little bit.
Yeah,
and this is a team who hasn't been able to run the ball. And Cam Akers is a talented running back. We cannot let them run the ball. That's what they're going to try and do. Just get ready. They're going to try and run the ball, and then do play action. We need to shut their run down.
Yeah. I think,
then on our side of the offense, we need to run the ball. We can't get away with what happened last week. That's not going to work. They're going to make plays. Like I said, Kupp is going to get his. I would say Kupp will probably score a touchdown. Higbee is a monster. Mm-hmm. Everybody's doubting them.
Yeah,
so
Kurtz is coming back,
we
right?
need to stop the run. Oh, what's that?
I said you have Kurtz coming back this week, right? I had full participation. So you got him coming back, and of course a Donovan
Well, my
Wilson
injuries are this.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, go ahead, because I know
where you're going with this. I want the injuries. Give it to me, because then we can feed off of this. That's where I was going as well, too.
Yeah. Curse is back, so Curse will be able to line up against a Higbee. He's a bigger guy. I think that's a good matchup. I think there's going to be times where you're going to see Curse and Donovan Wilson in the game at the same time with Malik Hooker back. Having Jordan Lewis,
I think with the sense, I'm with you because Dan Quinn loves to run 3 safeties. So when people were talking about, well, what happens when you have Curse come back, I was like, well, you don't have to worry about anything. You put Curse in there, and you have Donovan Wilson doing what Curse was doing last year, and now you put Curse doing what he does well as well, and that is cover tight ends and big guys. And maybe you have 2 guys like Curse and Wilson flying all over the ball. Field while you have a Parsons wreaking havoc. So I mean, I don't see the negatives on these because obviously, again, our biggest thing with Wilson for the past, even when he was here like a couple years ago, where he was just barely on the roster, the practice squad, we all knew he was a playmaker. We all saw it. It was just the health. Could you stay healthy? Could you put it in for a couple of games? So it's nice to see him. Even with Hooker, I'm sorry, but his reputation in Indianapolis wasn't the healthiest guy in the league. So I mean, he reminded me a lot of Bob Sanders, where that defense
he's playing
was
good
different.
Ball though.
Yeah, and
he's playing good ball now,
and he feels comfortable, and he looks good in this defense. Like you see him.
There's a
flying
reason why
around.
there's not a lot of big plays happening. He's in. Yeah, I mean he's in the right area a lot of the time. So
I love this defense, man. It's like
Tony Pollard, man. How about Tony Pollard? He's got like food poisoning. I never seen a team that gets more guys food poisoning. But good thing is he's good. He's on. I mean he was on the plane. He's there, and he's going to be good to go, as well as CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb's MRI came back clean. He practiced limited on Friday.
Gallimore was well too, because Gallimore was Bohanna is what I'm thinking of. Sorry, it's Bohanna. Bohanna was.
But they're all good to go. Nobody, just like Jake Ferguson, they MRI'd the knee. There's no structural damage. It's just. I mean, he's going to play. I mean, there might be a scratch depending on how they feel. They're deep in a lot of that's the good thing. They're deep in a lot of these positions. It's not a one guy, oh my God, we've lost this guy. Now, getting to losing that guy, what's the latest on Jason Peters?
Yeah, I heard that his chest, chest injury. He'll be out, a couple of weeks now, almost a month.
I just hope it's not a torn pec. I mean, I didn't hear that, but
this is the biggest reason why we weren't. I think this is the big reason why they were trying to maybe leave him not on the outside, to kind of ease him in, because just see what happens. What happened if they would have thrown him in that first game? Would he have done this in the first game? So, let him.
He wasn't in shape.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta just let him heal. The offensive line, the fact that you have pieces that can come back, I think the same thing with the receiving core. You knew guys were going to get hurt. You knew guys were going to have to step up. It's not like Peters went in there and took the starting job, and we were, McGovern was just out. McGovern was still in there, man.
In my mind now, it's and he is, but in my mind, we're one. Listen, we always are away from that, okay, but we're one bad injury from seeing Farniok. I don't want to see him. He was not very good. So
you know what? When I look at Farniok, he's a 50-50 kind of guy for me. Like you'll see him do a swing play, he'll swing 50, around, 50. And you're just like, what is he doing? And then the next one, he'll do it, right? And then he'll just bust it open, and you're just like, okay, where were you on the last one like that? And the same thing with the holding. I just think
he's so young and raw.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean,
I just think he's so young and raw, man.
This is a young team. It's a very young team. I think that's where people got to remember is that this team is definitely still learning. And when you come to bigger games, that's a learning experience too. That little jitteriness that comes in. The playoff team that was there last year. You see them shit the bed a little bit, but at the same time, it's just like they were a very young team and they were very much outmatched and they got muscled. Because why? Because starstruck. I'm not really sure. But you'll see that sometimes with some of these guys. And so that's why, I don't mind the Cooper Rush. Because he has that more of a calmness. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think this is a game where it's going to go back to battle of the lines. Who's going to run the ball better? That's going to set up play action. The team that creates turnovers is going to win. The team with the turnover margin in their favor is going to win. That's what it's going to come down to, which is a good thing for us. So my pick, it could be the other way. It's going to be a close game, people. We're not going into LA and blowing them out. And if we do, that's great. But it's not going to happen. I think it's going to be a close game. We could get blown out if everything it goes wrong.
Yeah.
But I don't see that happening. Our defense is too good for that. It's going to be a one score down to the end, Cincinnati. And what scares me is our long snapper. McQuaid's out for the year. We had a battle. We picked the veteran, and FYI, I don't know how we did on Friday's practice, but Thursday's practice, Maher missed 4 field goals in practice because of the snapping. So this game could come down to a field goal, and if it's not so much that he's not snapping it right, but when you have thousands and thousands of snaps and the rotation of the ball, it's these kickers are like little kids. Sometimes if like they don't get their milk and cookies at the right time, they get a little whiny. They want the one rotation, 2 rotations, laces out, a la Ray Finkel. You know what I mean? So. Yeah, we shall see what's going to happen, man.
Was that the Houston game? I was watching some game. The kicker went to kick it, and they were like, he was like, oh, he bent over. He was like so disappointed. I'm like, well, the guy had the laces in, man. Like, come on, man. Like, that ain't his fault.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, you're kicking a ball, Phil.
Yeah,
the laces can be in, out. I just kick it through, but it does for them guys. That's what I'm saying. It's when you're that your routine and your reps are that much dialed down to where you see the rotation of the ball. It's a comfort thing. It's not that Maher all of a sudden stinks, but that's what happens. So hopefully they got, because they were working their butts off on Friday at the Star. Hopefully they ironed it out. But you know how these things work. It's going to rear its ugly head in this game, and there's going to be a missed field goal. Yeah. Let's hope that missed field goal is not what causes us the game.
Yeah, I mean,
that's it.
I for the first time, I actually feel pretty good about the kicker. I don't really worry too much about his practicing. I mean, obviously you've seen things here and there. He's been on a roll, but I mean, I like how he's been during games. And I mean, it's disheartening to hear that he's missing a couple, but at the same time, man, he's the one guy that seems like he's been consistent in our offense. But I definitely see, especially when you get to a close game like this. I mean, but I see what you're saying, Brian. So watch out, guys. You may see at least a missed field goal somewhere in there.
I mean, it's going to come down to like something stupid like that. And this, hey, maybe he nails it, and we just keep rolling like we are, because we are picking up steam. Mm-hmm. There's just, what it is. As a person who's familiar, I don't gamble as much as I used to, but I used to work at a casino. Every time I go to Vegas, I'm always doing some bets, some future bets. I don't do too much week-to-week stuff. I've been on the Dallas Cowboys, whether they win the game or not. I'm on the line and the over-under. So I feel like I have it beat. I think there's going to be some points scored this week. But, yeah, we need to be cognizant that it's a little different. Yeah, Glimmerman, shout him out. What's up, buddy?
Hope it's an extra point that he misses. He says, Glimmerman, we need to stop the outside run, which, again, I think we can do. I mean, when you look at the Rams and their running offense, they're definitely on the bottom, if not the very bottom when it comes to run offense. And they even attempts for the run in general. So, I mean, they're usually a passing team. So, again, what's the strength of this defense is definitely a passing type of defense. So, that's where they get their turnover. That's where we get to the quarterback. So, I mean, you've seen how this defense, when teams can run on it, that's where they push it down the field a little bit easier. And it's a bend but don't break type of defense when that tends to happen. So, I've liked that they've been able to keep teams out of the end zone. We'll see if this is with a more high-powered offense. But, yeah, we're on the same thing, man. You got Stafford again. We'll circle back around to this, but Stafford, of course, he's iffy. We don't know what Stafford we're going to get. It's like Carson Wentz, to me, is he going to be the guy that turns the ball over? He feels the pressure. He can't seem to settle in there. He's just trying to get rid of it. He's throwing it to people's feet. Are you going to see that Stafford? Are you going to see one that just all of a sudden turns it on, and then all of a sudden gives you a pick or two? So That's always the iffy part. I would bet more on our defense
Angelica
when it comes to
Barone, hey
that.
sweetie.
I would bet definitely more on our defense when it comes to that. Again, me and you are on the same page when it says it's our offense versus their defense. And I mean, they got some stars, but they're not stopping everybody. And so that's the part that gives me hope, is that, Cooper Rush has been moving this ball down the field. I mean, he has his times where it's there, but when you look at the drives, it's drive, punt, whether he was driving again and then there's a touchdown or a field goal and then there's a punt and then there's a touchdown. There's drives where he's scoring. So, I mean, again, when we look at the past three teams, of course, the Cincy team that's been kind of iffy. We'll see this week if they have any kind of meaning to them. And then you have, obviously, I'm not trying to take it away from the Giants again, but I don't see them as this amazing team that they that they think they are. So I mean, you can't go from one of the worst top 5 teams in the league to the Super Bowl in the next year and thinking that we can blow away any team, and then just get your butt handed to you. From the Cowboys, that a Cowboys team that they're still trying to find their identity with their backup quarterback, and so you feel pretty bad about your team, and then the next following week you tend to win, and now you're back up again. So obviously you got Washington fans. I think they're coming back down to reality. You heard them all beginning of the offseason talking about, Carson Wentz, he's our savior. He's going to be the next person. He's going to forget what he did in Philly. And I was just telling people, just take the sound clips that every single one of those guys said about Carson Wentz against the Eagles and just use it against them. Because, come on, man. He doesn't go to the Colts and then get traded, and then all of a sudden everything's forgiven. Go ahead.
Loyal Cowboy, what's up, buddy? How are you? I know, look, it's going to come down to, who can run the ball. I really do think that on the road, we're going to need to be able to run the ball. What we did last week was not good enough. And we, against the Washington Commander team, we got away with it. And that's great. We need to come out with the intensity like we did in the second half. And like Limmerman is saying, we need to get to Stafford. If we get to him early, like you said, he's going to give you at least one opportunity. I think Diggs, gets another one. So I think he's going to start being on a roll. I think you're going to see Michael Parsons get a couple sacks, and he needs to, because all of a sudden now you're hearing the idiots 30
I'm not even worried about
minutes
it.
from me. It's like trying to
compare it.
like they're trying to say that their DN's better than our DN.
Ours is getting triple team. Ours is getting triple
team.
They get circled on the. Trust me. It's not the same. It's not the same. It's like comparing a steak with like a freaking hot dog. Just like it's just not the same. Man, we got this amazing steak.
It's like a sirloin steak with like 2 glizzies and some tots. And don't get me wrong, I don't mind the glizzy, but if I'm gonna get a steak, man, that's where it's at. So, that's what I'm looking at. It's going to be a close game. I'm going to do what I did before. So I think people are starting to get my vibe where I'm going with my score. But I did that with Cincy. I'm kind of a superstitious lad. So that should be fun. But I'm hoping that Michael Gallup can pick up where he left off last week. His CD. Keep that intensity. Get CD the ball early in the game, please. Get the ball in his hands. Get him going. I think he's okay now. I think that first game really, and then the drop against the Giants, I think he was getting lit up on Twitter, and everybody was like, dude, you're number one and you're dropping it's a concentration thing. He's a young guy, and the last couple of games he's balling out. We need that to,
I just don't like that he catches
continue.
it with his body.
I think we need. Yeah, not all the time, but you're right. He does. He loses focus and he'll let the ball travel too far instead of high pointing the ball. And let's hope, like I said, let's hope Gallup.
I like our matchup with the wide receivers versus these corners. I mean, obviously you got to start with Ramsey. I'm not going to take anything away from that. I mean, he does have a higher ceiling than a lot of other guys in the NFL. So,
right.
But when I look at the rest of the corners, they have injuries across. They got some concussions. They have some guys that are out. So our guys can definitely step up. You're going to see some mismatches out there.
Yeah, but I think what they're going to do is is keep it simple and try and run the ball. That's what I was telling you. Us stopping the run this week is so huge. Stop the run. If we can get some big plays, I keep calling for it. Now, don't get me wrong. Our returner,
Turpin. Yeah.
a Turpentine, he leads the league in punt returns. So, yardage. So he's bound to break one. Is this the week? I keep calling for it. He had it 2 weeks ago, and if you would have beat the kicker,
I'm with him. I like the fact that I like his game in another kind of terms. In the sense, yes, he got us a field goal, put some 3 points on the board. That was amazing. I like the fact that he has the possibility. It makes the other team kind of strategize a little bit, but. He's better than what we've had, and the fact that he's catching it and fair catching it and getting it down. And there was one point where he kind of let it go over his head, and he knew as soon as it bounced, he was like, dang it. But for the most part, he's also not fumbling it away.
I remember that one. I'm like, oh, dude, it was wide open, too. He had plenty of room. I'm like,
So I look also compared to
Yeah.
And I think a lot of the Cowboy fans tend to do it. Like, they look at something from our positioning and they compare it to the rest of the league. Where I compare it to what we were last year, for example. Are we better in that position? I feel way better about our special teams, man. Our special teams is actually getting points on the board. Whether it's trying to block stuff, or are actually getting there, blocking field goals. You're taking points away from the other team. You're getting field goal, positioning by getting a great return. Good blocking schemes. I'm sorry, but the blocking is there when special teams. So I got to give Bones that credit. I mean, it's been amazing to watch these guys really set up those blocks. So I'm liking the special teams. Obviously, like you're saying, there's a cause of concern when you have Maher kicking some missed field goals. But, I liked how he's been during the game. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just telling you what happens when you lose your long snapper. You're going to have something. That doesn't mean you're going to miss a field goal. But I would say maybe in this game, because of that, be more aggressive. You get the ball at the 40-yard line, and you're in Rams territory, and it's 4th and 4, and go for it. Now, obviously, you would, at that point, maybe at the 35, instead of kicking a long field goal, like 52 or a 55-yard or like 50-yard field goal, maybe go for it. Unless it's more than 5 yards, maybe go for it more. Be aggressive, because I think this is a big week. If we could, I want to win both games. Okay. Mm-hmm. Obviously, next week, we'll get to next week. That game is huge. But if we win the Ram game and we end up splitting the next two, I just want to split. Now, if I have it, I want to win them both. But if I have to split, if I'm looking at the schedule at the beginning of the year, I'm like, okay, the Super Bowl champs and then Eagles. Knowing us, we'll beat the champs and then lose next week. Mm-hmm. But we could win them both. I mean, the way our defense is, we could win them both. But with not being 100%, I don't think, FYI, Dak ain't playing next week either.
I don't think so.
I don't see it. He ain't doing much, which is fine with me. Bring him back at home. I think we play Detroit. I think it's Detroit and Chicago back-to-back at home, or vice versa. But either way, if we could somehow split these next 2 weeks, and listen, if we win next two, we're off to the races. I don't give a shit what the Eagles are doing. Our record, our schedule gets easier. We're going to have 12, 13 wins if we win these next two games. Just looking at the schedule. If we split, we're good. We're still where I thought we were without losing Dak. And Tyron, we're still there, which is impressive. Everybody forgets we lost the Pro Bowl left tackle that, and he's working with the bands already. So there's help coming if need be. Like, we will be better off in the future than we are now. So if we can somehow split, but let's just go win this game tomorrow.
One game at a time.
It's going to be a close game, man. Everything's got to go our way. Yeah. You know what I mean?
I agree. Let me get in the chat. What you guys think? Who is going to win? I see Glimmerman sees Dallas 23-13. That's a pretty good score. I mean, if Dallas was to win, I can see that.
He likes the under.
If that, so I'm back again. I'm a 50-50 man. By the time the moment that I go to pick will probably be the moment.
He's got me changing my prediction, but I'm going to stick to my gun.
So back and forth on this, man.
But you know what happened in Cincinnati game.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what I'm hoping to have as well too. So I'm gonna go ahead and say my prediction. I'm gonna let you go ahead and reveal yours. I unfortunately, I
Captain
worry
Taki,
about
what's up,
I
Captain
worry about
Taki?
the fact that I look at Cooper Rush and I like the fact that he's a backup quarterback doing backup quarterbacks things. And I'm not going to get into the whole debate of whether starting and all that kind of stuff. Cowboy fans like to do, and obviously
That's
this
a
is just
ridiculous debate, but that's just my opinion.
it's just feeding into what Jerry
Dak's the
Jones was
guy
trying
when
to bring
healthy.
in. And
Yeah.
and so there's we could be on that debate for hours, honestly, and there would be so many people getting offended by each other. But when I look
Yeah,
at this
I
team, I
love 'em.
worry about the fact that Cooper Rush has scored. Yeah, I mean the fact that he's scoring touchdowns, that's good. He's moving the ball. But the fact that that he scored 4 touchdowns and 12 quarters, that's a little bit worrisome in the sense of you're going to need to score some points in this one in order to beat the Rams, which is I think, this is probably one of those games that we kind of like. We need to come out. We kind of need to set the tone. I like the fact that we're not the favorites, okay? Because if we were the favorites, okay, Dallas is going to come in here. They're going to just destroy
let's get
them.
into that real quick. Like before you get your score out, everybody, let's just go over, so I think everybody knows where I'm going. Don't panic. I'm doing it for a reason. But the actual line is Dallas is getting 5.5 points and only 42. 5.5. Dallas, in the words of Mike McCarthy, we ain't nobody's damn underdog.
I like Mark saying,
5.5.
I know punk bitch.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah,
we ain't no punk bitch. 5.5? Are you kidding me? The Rams are playing like shit. So that's telling you. Now, I will say Vegas has been off. Vegas has been off this whole year by 10 points as far as the Cowboys are concerned. They're not even close. So that's what's got me weird. I expected it to be 3, 2.5, 3.5. We're the better team right now.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think I would have been way better about this if obviously the Rams would have won last week. Then I wouldn't have felt okay. They're kind of probably still the fact that we have a shorter week will help us as well. Again, I really think it's like the Bengals thing. I think they can win this game. I see the Rams winning it, unfortunately. I think, I don't want to say this, but I think the Rams will win 27-10. I don't think our offense will get going.
27-10.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And
that's the blowout I was talking about. To me,
yeah,
that's a blowout.
And that's the Rams. All of a sudden, they're catching fire, and then Allen Robinson got involved, and
everybody get them.
Yeah, exactly,
get 'em.
exactly.
Jump on
and that's what I'm
that's
hoping.
Ridiculous. I'm joking.
That's what I'm hoping is with the Bengals game. I mean, I can see. There's so many times where I can see the Cowboys winning this, and there's so many, and it doesn't have to be like the Bengals game where everything has to go right in order to win this game, because this defense has been playing well. The Rams offense has not been playing well. Stafford has not been playing well. The Rams offense, when it comes to the running game, has not been performing at all. The good thing on this defense is the passing game, which we can compete against theirs. Cooper Rush has been winning these games and doing what he has to do in every single game to win those games. So yes, there is definitely a formula, and it definitely doesn't need all of it to add up to a victory. So I can see it as well too. I don't see us blowing them away, but I definitely could see us winning any of these scores here. But I'm hoping I'm so on that one. But go ahead.
No. Listen, I'm not gonna lie to you. As we're talking, I'm feeling, because at the beginning of the week, I felt really confident, and then it's just one thing after another. We lose Jason. A couple of days ago, we lose Jason Peters. CeeDee Lamb's not practicing. Tony Pollard is on he's vomiting. It's coming out of both ends for multiple days. You just we lose our long snapper for the year. The Rams are up against the wall. They're calling out the coach. They're saying Matt Stafford's hurt. They're saying the only thing they have good for him is Cooper Kupp, which leads me back to I love weed. What up, man? How you doing? I see a lot of good scores here, and it leads me back to whoever's able. I feel like the Rams are going to come out, and they always seem to be able to run the ball against us. Now, I don't think they will. That's why the closer that we get to my prediction, I think I'm wrong. I think we win this damn game, but
I mean, yeah.
I'm going to stick to my guns.
I'm back and forth.
I'm going to stick to my guns for mojo. This guy's been with me for like almost 30 years. This little troll here. We've been through a lot of big games together. I don't always break him out when I need him. I don't know that I'm going to break him out this week because I want to save a little bit for the following week. But I don't even know about that. It's a long year. We're at the point where we need the wins at the end of the year. You know what I mean? I think we're going to be in the playoffs, so I want to keep the wins at it. I don't want to shoot his wad right now because he's almost a lock. But let's go into the picks. I'm going to try and hold it closer to the camera because I always watch our videos back, and sometimes I can't see my prediction.
I'll tell you
yeah. Listen, don't kill me, people, because I think we're good now. You guys are actually turning me, but I'm going to stick to my guns.
I like this chat. I like the positive because I think they're with us.
Here, I have it to where we're driving the ball, and Maher misses a kick. So, it ain't my fault. If he makes the kick, we win the game, But I actually like more points scored, but it's not horrible. Like what I'm seeing is what I'm feeling. I got, here, I'm going to hold this up here. Oh, there you go. The Rams 26, Cowboys 24. Ooh. So
that's good.
I see it like coming down. I like Cowboys plus the 5.5 and over the 42. It's been under, so I think it's over. And but like I said, I think it can go the other way, just like in Cincinnati. If we can't run the ball, we're in trouble. And if Phil scored, it's going to be right.
The last time,
go ahead, talk to me.
Ginger Man, he's like, quit with the bad juju. Prime,
Ginger Man, dude. Now he called him Ginger Man, Glimmer Man.
Glimmer Man. Sorry, but it's just funny because last time Cooper Rush kind of definitely proved me wrong, and so that's why I still.
It's a good thing, Glimmer Man,
and
for
I like
us
it.
Cowboys.
Because I don't want to pretend. Yeah. I don't. It's when I put the bad juju out there.
There he is, Jack Meeker in the house.
It's where I put the bad ones where I go, I think we're gonna win no matter what, and we don't. Yeah. I don't want to be that. I want to be against it, and they prove me wrong, and I come out here and eat crow. I love eating it. I don't mind because there was one I was going to get somebody and they had Cooper Rush in their fantasy, and I was winning by 60, and Cooper Rush was their only guy left. I was like, dude, I hope he beats me, man. I hope Cooper Rush throws up 60 fantasy points on me. I don't mind that at all.
Yeah.
So I'm
exactly.
over this
just
team.
like when you have right, exactly. Yeah, I'm with you. Like if I'm playing a guy who's got CD, go ahead. I hope CD goes off. Especially when I have no money on the line.
I love Weeds like
this is just bragging rights.
I love Weeds like I'm saving this video.
Oh yeah, by the way, I'm second in the league in points scored.
Ooh, nice.
But every time I play somebody, they have they go off.
Well, that's how I was saying.
Rock keeps talking his shit, but I'm outscoring Rock by a lot. So,
but yeah, that's what I'm saying. Votto for the past thing was like 60, 80 points. He busted out like 130 something points, and I'm like, what?
Yeah, you lost to a machine. He wasn't even picking his shit.
I could just hear him.
That was funny.
Primetime, I could just hear him.
Hey, Jack, I'm excited for this game too, man. I think it's going to be a close game. Like every game, it could get ugly in where we are actually blowing them out. That's how bad the Rams are right now. But listen, if everything is clicking and our special teams do what they're so close. Every week they're so close. I think we need, like I was saying a little earlier, you guys weren't here, we need to be more aggressive this week. Mm-hmm. We need to be aggressive. Take your shots down the field. That's why running the ball is so key. Run the ball. I want to see our tight ends up the seams more. Come on, Cooper. We need another big game out of you. Do not turn the ball over. Run the ball. Take your shots. Special teams come through, and Phil's looking like a fool next week, right?
Yeah, I hope
that's
so,
man.
I really hope so. Yeah,
and even Phil that's what he would want.
Yeah, definitely all about it. I could definitely see this team
too. So
I definitely could see this team, man, doing it. So that's what I was saying. Again, we're saying with the Bengals, there's so many recipes here, and again,
I need a diaper.
And Glimmer was saying that too. I was like, he doesn't see Stafford playing the whole game. He sees this defense, Quinn kind of just taking it to him. And if anybody can, Quinn can definitely dial up something. He's been, people were talking about the blitz and bringing the blitz, but the fact is that this defense has been able to get pressure with the four, just bringing four. So bring pressure if you want. So You still have some stars there on that offense. You don't have, again, they're obliterated kind of on the offensive line. They haven't been playing great. So there's a lot of things that they have questionable as well too. So don't let anybody just fool you that all of a sudden, hey, this team, oh, they're the exact same team that was the Super Bowl. No, this isn't, and
Right.
even not having that third receiver
Right.
because the past couple of years, and Antonio Brown with the Bucks, obviously OBJ being the third receiver with the Rams, they don't have that same matchup. So our third corner is not going against that. We just have our third corner going against the slot guy. So Bland, I like him. He's going to get beat here and there. Don't judge him too much because obviously, again, we know Cooper Kupp is going to get his thing, his groove on at some point. You just kind of have to slow him down.
Now, I have a question for the people in the chat. Do you guys feel like me that, like, when Matt Stafford's not a guy when all the chips are down, that he comes out and lights it up? He's a guy who, when he's hot and given time, he's hot. But they are coming in down. We have a defense. That's why, the more and more I'm thinking about this game, Phil, the more I'm feeling good. I really am. The tone of this team right now is good with, the way McCarthy and what he's telling the team.
I love his attitude.
I'm really starting to feel good about this game. But, like a wounded dog thing. That was my, but I'm going to stick with it. That's good mojo. But I want to know from the chat, do you believe that Stafford's going to come out and just light it up against us with no offensive line? Because I don't.
I like what Jack Meeker is saying here because I think it's very true. I think the only way that you really kind of eliminate Aaron Donald is to run right at him. So, I mean, Aaron Donald loves to step to the side. He loves to use his finesse to get around people instead of a lot of power. Sometimes his power, I'm not trying to take it away because obviously he's a big dude and he's very powerful, but it doesn't seem to be the top part of his game anymore, and the finesse part has been more what he's been using. So if he can kind of step himself out of the way and you're running that direction, but it's true. The only way you eliminate a guy like that is to definitely run straight at him, and that's what they were doing with Parsons. They were running straight at him because he was a smaller dude, and you're putting people going at him. So instead of having Parsons come at them and being able to make a move. So, I definitely agree with Jack Meeker on that one. And they really need, and they do abandon their run, Captain Taki. Yeah, they definitely do. That's what I was saying. Yeah, man. Like McGovern and Donald don't run there. Yeah, see, that's the part. Is just you're gonna need to get that double team, that swing around with Zach Martin, hopefully getting him and getting that double, hitting him as well with him, putting your fullback in. I mean, you need to put other people in here and not just, don't do what Kellen Moore likes to do with the gadget plays because this team can get up the field. And I do like the fact that Cooper Rush is
McCarthy.
Go ahead.
Yeah, well, like McCarthy's in on these calls now. He's making more and more calls. He has the plays coming through him, and he can veto and add something. I'm sure he's said one time or another, no, like we're not doing a fake punt. We're going to punt the ball, play defense. With this defense, we don't need to be Mickey Mouse, especially at the midfield line. I don't want to be desperate until it's time to be desperate. I want to be aggressive, but not stupid. So that's how I'm looking at it. Now, I just want to touch on this game briefly. What does everybody think about the Arizona Eagle game? Because your brother Roz in Mark's live, I wasn't on his live. I was busy today. I didn't go home till like 6 o'clock. But he's a big numbers analytics guy. Now, analytics to me are a tool to help you make an informed decision. Analytics don't make the decision for you. Analytics say that he's got Eagles going in there, and he gives the Cardinals zero chance. Now, if anybody knows anything about the Cardinals, they're a good home team. I'm telling you now, I know
they'll surprise you out of nowhere. I just don't.
They're gonna play a field goal game, and don't be surprised if they win. I can't believe that line is what it is, where the Eagles are the 5-point favorite going in on the road. Listen, I could see us winning and them shitting in bed, and they're like all this talk about Super Bowl, and they're tied with us going into next week. That's what I could see easily. So I disagree that the Eagles are going to go into Arizona and just roll. they're too good of a team. They have too much talent. So I mean, we shall see. But if that happens, then we just gotta hold pace. But I think there's a chance they lose tomorrow. I really do. What is the people? Yeah,
I'm sorry. Angelica Brown says Kellen out the door. Better be smart with his play calling, and everybody's agreeing, man. And then and Captain Taki says every time the camera goes to Kellen Moore, my family starts cussing the TV. It just
tell me about it.
Yeah,
he's got that look about him. I was like, dude, just put that, because he's got the itch. He just wants to keep throwing the ball. I really do think that if we can get a lead and slow the game down and make every possession for Stafford like, oh my God, we have to score something. And his defense that's when it's going to be fun, because they're going to attack him. They're going to attack him anyway. Our defense ain't scared of nobody. We need to do a little better job, with the run game. But I think this is a good week to do that against a team like the Rams. If the Rams can run the ball against us, shame on us. Mm-hmm. Shame on us. Yeah. There's no reason why they should be able to run the ball against us. So there it is. There's my prediction. And let's see. Man, should I put money on the Cardinals game? Victor Jimenez. I don't know, man. I don't like to spend other people's money, Victor. But
you're just saying that there's always a possibility.
We shall see.
I think there's always a possibility. I mean, nobody would have picked the Colts to beat the Chiefs.
I'm not putting money on them.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Nobody would put the Colts beating the Chiefs, but I mean, sometimes when they just go out there, sometimes people have bad games, and it could be the other way around. All of a sudden, like I see that Cooper Rush tried to give away the game last week a couple of times, and got very lucky with those flags. And I'm not going to say that the flags were uncalled for, because they were definitely there. I mean, when you're hooking and you're holding people, and so that's bad on their secondary for causing that. But it gives me a little bit cause of concern for he just needs to work on those deep sideline balls, just in sideline in general. I think that's the weakness part. But I mean, if you just stay away from that, there's so much to this offense that you don't need all those sideline things. Gallup is obviously really good at that, but right. Gallup just showed you. I mean, he can do different things. It's not just one category. So I do like where this team is at with a backup quarterback. I mean, do you remember that? We were going into this right before all this and going, if he can at least get half of these games. And right now, he's doing really well. So, I mean, and I like the fact that he has a good attitude about it. He's not just taking credit. He's definitely pushing himself, though, to be a backup quarterback that can, demand like, $25-50 million contract in the NFL. So you may see him possibly with that. So you saw other guys do that as well.
I heard.
Go ahead.
Yeah. I heard Bryan Broaddus. I follow him on Dallas Cowboys. They have a YouTube channel, and I usually watch the break with him and Nick Eatman.
Mm-hmm. I like it.
He was saying that he has his gang of 7. He's got buddies that are GMs around the league.
Mm-hmm. I hear him talking about it there.
I think 2 GMs said, I don't know that I would necessarily give too much for him. 2 GMs are on record that they would give a 5, and 3 GMs said they would give a 4 right now for Cooper Rush, like 4th round pick. Now, we're not getting rid of Cooper Rush. I'm just trying to explain how things change. You think they could have got any of that before the season?
Mm-mm.
I mean,
he was out there in the wire.
Years ago.
He was on the wire. They could have had him for free, and so
yeah, they could have had him for free. So it just goes to show you, just like the Eagles are getting all the run. If you would have told me that Dallas would have been the underdogs as much as they are this year, and we're 3-1, think about that. We're never the underdogs. We're always the favorite, and Vegas is playing with you, and then we end up getting beat or something. And it's like, Dallas choked. Now we're the underdog every week. I'm liking it. I don't have a problem with it. It's a long season. To go wire to wire, Philly fans, and if any I don't see any Philly fans in here right now. Yeah, I'm sure there's a couple watching.
They'll start coming. They'll start coming if they
happen.
go well.
Things happen. So, it should be fun. So.
And I just like the fact that the NFC East is no longer a laughing stock. I mean, you still got that little weird cousin in the sense of Washington. They don't even know their own identity. And but I mean, when I was looking at the New York Giants being that same way, still needing a lot of pieces. So the fact that they've been able to put some wins together, good for them. But I just don't see that lasting the whole season with them. So I mean, that's good. I hope they continue to have. I hope they do have a good season, because they don't have a team to do anything in the playoffs. And if they get somehow a seed, or they get up there where they're in the hunt, that just means they're going to not get a good draft pick next year. And that team needs those top draft picks right now, because that's the reason why you look at the Lions. I mean, look at the Lions. They're scoring like crazy. They're the highest scoring offense in the league, and look at their record. You know, because the defense can't match it. So I mean, they're still pieces away. So it's kind of crazy. So I mean, the balances are starting to shift as well. What's going on?
I love weed. You know the deal. Weed.
Oh yeah.
I think everybody who knows what we're talking about knows the deal. So we'll move on. But I agree with you. And we, listen, it's going to be, I'm upset because where I live, Dallas game isn't going to be on TV. So, I don't know. I mean, I really, Mark was trolling me saying, how come you're not coming? I didn't even know I was off Monday because it's a government holiday. So I'm like, man, maybe I'll take a ride down again to watch the game. Either that, or I'm going to have to go to like a sports bar or Buffalo Wild Wings to watch the game tomorrow. So I don't know. I haven't made my decision, but I need to see the game. I cannot watch the Dallas game. I'm not going to watch the red zone and hopefully that they show them, because they never show Dallas hardly when Dallas. It's almost like there's something against showing them too much since they're always on national TV. So it's weird, but I'll be somewhere watching it tomorrow.
Yeah, I agree with Jack. Hurst will be a huge last year. So yeah, there's a lot. I'm loving this. I lost a little bit of reconnection there for a second. Sorry guys, it's gonna chop out. But anyways, so yeah, man. And do you want to talk about anything before we leave and leave it to the Cowboys and their fate and what happens tomorrow? Because I'm hoping we're coming back and I'm eating crow and I have no problem doing it. But I'm just here chilling and hearing.
I'm a very superstitious guy, man. Like I'm actually to the point where if I'm sitting there and I got my remote on my one arm of my recliner and we're doing good, I can't move the remote. It's got to be in the same position. You know what I mean? I'm just weird.
I do a lot of shifting as well too, so I won't watch the game. Like last week, I was able to walk away.
Roll, man. I've lightened up though, like over the years, because I was pretty rough on one of my kids. Now he's way bigger than me. And he's
go sit down, Dad.
Does well with a firearm, so so it's like I got to be careful, because if he would, because he likes to come in the room, hey, they're kicking ass, he's watching upstairs. All of a sudden they start doing bad. It's like, dude, go back in the closet.
Yeah, exactly. How dare you?
Wherever you were, go in the bathroom. You got to sit in the bathroom until this drive's over. I've lightened up on that, but everything else, man, that's just how I am. I am a creature of habit, but I don't want to overdo it. That's why I ain't gonna bring the troll out tomorrow. I do have my good luck tiki. When I was in Hawaii, I made sure I bought it. It's a good luck. It's for good luck. So I'll bring him out, but I don't want to overuse it.
Yeah.
What's that?
Yeah, I was asking if it was shot glass.
So. No, this is it's just like it's like what they had in what do you call Brady Bunch, remember? But I think that was a bad luck tiki. This one I specifically got. The lady said was for good luck.
You're talking to the lady. Hey,
out.
What's your return policy with the luck? With the luck?
I'll be right there.
Yeah, exactly. This is terrible luck, man. What's wrong with you, man? You told me this is good luck.
14 hours. I'll be there. So.
No, that's awesome.
That's the deal, man. I'm excited for the game. So,
I am too.
when are we going on next week? Monday?
We're going to go
on
Monday
night.
7. I think we keep it at 7. That way, it's just kind of the same thing. The game
Yeah.
a day after. Maybe one day we'll start doing something different. But for the most part, let's keep it the same. Saturday is the 7, and of
Yeah.
course the day after for the game to hopefully talk about a Cowboys victory and how Phil needs to stop doing this because he's totally wrong all the time. So, anything you want to say to the chat? I appreciate everybody coming in. Angelica Barone,
Awesome,
Captain
Taki,
Taki,
thank you.
Glimmerman, I Love Weed. You had Jason in here very
Cool.
early.
Thanks, Angelica.
Jake Meeker. You guys have been amazing. You guys are awesome, always coming through, and I cannot say enough good things about you guys.
Well, Jack,
you guys
Jack Meeker's busy. He's got all those kids, man. He's got all those grandkids, and
Yeah, when we were doing on Tuesday, Jack was like,
bro.
"What? I can actually tune in and stuff." See, Angelica says game time. Put that.
Yeah.
Primetime
cool.
game time. Need new ashtrays. I'll email y'all. Oh, nice. I like it. I like it. I like it. You can add it to the background. I like it. I like it. But honestly, I hope I feel really good about it. Even though I predicted in one way, but it's just when I feel like I put it out there. The truth again, like I don't want to kind of shy away from this and kind of jinx it.
Yeah.
And I want them to prove me wrong, and I like that. I mean, that's one thing about Cooper Rush. He's definitely been doing, proving some people wrong. His defense has been proving people wrong.
Yeah, I'll call it the way I see it.
Yeah.
And you know what? I probably lean towards the negative only because of our recent history.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody in here, like, we deserve another Super Bowl. It's my kid deserves the Super Bowl. He's never seen a winner. When I was young, all I knew was losing. And then when I was in my early 20s, we finally won 3 Super Bowls. I don't remember the first 2. I remember losing to Pittsburgh. I've said this before. I do remember losing to the Steelers in back-to-back years. So do you think that's success for a young kid seeing the back-to-back years losing? I don't remember. I do remember reading about it and seeing pictures in school about beating the Dolphins, beating Denver. That was cool, but
never saw
it wasn't until the early 90s is when I actually saw anything. My kids never seen nothing. Now it's like it's time. We deserve this. A Super Bowl, if nothing else, for that year to call off the dogs and say, well, you can run your mouth and say whatever the hell you want. We got the hardware, man. We got the ring. You know what I mean? So
we got to push that off to the side.
That's
I agree
why
with you,
that's where I'm at.
Well, everybody knows that they can find you here. Obviously, again, what we're talking about Saturdays at 7 and the day after the game at 7 o'clock here as well. But where can they find you if they haven't already, Brian?
GameTime Bryan. Well, I'm GameTime Bryan on Twitter. I'm GameTime Bryan. Now, I know there's an issue. I don't know if you keep putting up my...
I do. I actually have it inside
in
in the descriptions. If you click on the descriptions, you'll see where you can buy us a beer as well. And then
mostly everybody in here is already following me, so it's okay. I'm going to start doing more. But,
I appreciate the guys that come in here and watch afterwards. Yeah, I mean, put some stuff out there. We'll get you going.
That's where you can find me. Just look me up on Twitter.
And I appreciate you guys coming in.
From our live streams is on Twitter. So.
Oh, we got Wildcat coming out of nowhere saying Jones is a curse, and I think my internet is being iffy right now, and so that's trying to get back from the.
I think it's.
Yeah, and that's getting back from the thing. So I'm going to go ahead and end the end stream now with our ending video. I appreciate you guys. I'm Primetime Phil, Game Time Brian, always the mailman delivering the news and obviously going with the Vegas odds as well too. So I appreciate you guys stopping by, and I appreciate the guys later on watching this video. Don't forget to leave a comment. I appreciate everything that you guys have done to support this channel, but don't forget to always ring that bell.
Hey! We know each other. He's a friend from work.
What you do, you're like a little screw loose type of guy, and that's how I am. So I'm digging it, big guy. I am.
Who are you? You. No, not me, you. Yes, I am you. Just answer the damn questions. Who are you?
GameTime Bryan, otherwise known as the mailman here.
Cool name. Superpowers?
Broadcasting from the illustrious Jobu studio.
Come on, are you gonna tell me who that is?
Primetime Phil, and of course my co-host, Game Time Brian.
Oh, Jesus Christ, this place is going to explode. $100,000, I don't even need to hear it.